Hi, I'm Shavi and today I'll be showing Dabble to you. But before we get started on what we've built so far, I want to explain that this is just the photos pillar of the app. Beyond the photos pillar, we are going to talk about how we're going to seriously ameliorate the sharing experience of Dabble. Beyond that, innovate on the capturing layer, and then finally the engagement layer. You want to win the 4 pillars of Dabble: the photos experience. Once you win the photos experience, once the navigation is really, really beautiful, once we have no image bloat on the system, it's very interesting why the Photos app hasn't innovated even remotely as much as we have in the past 20 years. But the idea is you want to win the viewing experience. If you win the viewing experience, it sets you up for a better sharing experience, because then people are much more receptive to receiving a lot more images. If you win the sharing experience, is there a way to really beat AirDrop, for instance? We think we actually have one. If you win the photos viewing experience, you cut off bloat, you win the sharing experience, people start sharing a lot more images, then can we really innovate on the capturing layer? And if you're able to do that, how do we further engage people in a much more attentive, interesting manner? But that's all hoo-ha. We're going to show you what we've built so far, and we're just going to give you a taste of what Dabble is. So this is the app. We don't even have a logo yet, but just to give you a flavor of how much we've optimized the system, I haven't opened the app at least even once. I can open the app, I'll shut it back down, and I'll show you how fast image upload works. I open the Photos app, take an image, open Dabble, and within a second, the entire system is out there. I'll do that again, just to give a flavor of how fast we've built the entire system. Image taken, Dabble open, and you have the image over there, and you can see both of them are stacked on top of each other. Let's move into the map. Let's probably get the camera a bit closer. Now, Dabble is a complete map space system. We feel whenever you talk about images, you always want to mention space, time, and people. And a lot of those variables don't seem to be interdimensional in the way we describe it. Except Dabble is completely built on this sort of layer. As you can see, even with thousands and thousands of images, there's absolutely no lag in the entire system. We have our own custom clustering animation, and we've really optimized the hell out of this entire system to make it as seamless and smooth as you can see over here. You can go in, click into an image. You can see a stack of the image. I don't even have to tap on these. I can just drag the screen and the scene is set for me. But this is really not as fun as some of the other things we've built. Again, I've opened 682 images. Probably not the right one. Open 6. Let's go here. 415 images. No loading required. It's all loaded instantly for you. But let's give you a flavor of how cross-dimensional navigating through time is. Let's select a specific date range. Let's say September 2024. And let's go there. And let's set this apart by, let's say, 5-6 days. Now, in this period, I was not in India. I was in Seattle. Let's go out and dive into Seattle. Seattle is popping with a lot of images that we have. Now, the simple way to go through time, especially when you're browsing through images in this sort of manner, and you can go in and out again, is long holding the screen and super scrolling. And then you have this very refreshing, dynamic way of going through time. And if you look carefully at the date, it's October 19. If I go very fast through Superscroll, it only goes by about 10 days. But if I go slowly, then I'm going by months and months. And it becomes a very interesting. So what was I doing on, let's say, September 19th, right? I just go back, toggle to September 19th. And clearly I've been up to a lot of things between this date range. Let's go to a specific time and see what I was doing, right? I just zoom out. I open the 10, 11 images that I have. Well, clearly we're setting us up for some party. And then this is the Carousel View. This is how easy and dynamic the using of Dabble is. Beyond that, we have built a lot of other really interesting features. You know what, let's go down to San Francisco for a bit. Let's take a broader time range. And it's so funny, I have some of the images even on, tagging the location even on the plane. But we're in San Francisco over here. And as you can see, the entire infrastructure is built entirely on the on Apple Maps. So you can sort of go inside, have a 3D view of all the places in, and then even have a live view of whatever is going down. And then I can toggle through back and forth by multiple days. I guess this date range is probably too big for us to see that difference. And then again, go back and forth in time. All of this just goes to show how interesting the viewing experience on Dabble can be, and how cross-dimensional the dimensions of time and location are. But we've invented a few other frameworks as well to make that experience even better. Let's bounce back to India for that. We are in Hyderabad, and let's assume, for instance, I want to have a log of just this place throughout time. It doesn't matter what the state range is. All I have to do is press the log view, and a mega stack is created. Within that mega stack, I can find out all the images that I potentially have. It seems to be a minor glitch, but let's move back in and see all the images throughout time in that specific area. The idea is very simple with this. You want to have a very interesting way to go in and out of certain locations, and then sort of get a much more immersive experience of what you were doing throughout the entire time range. Beyond that, I can even show you how we use facial recognition across this entire system. I have simply pulled up the people's aspect of it. I can add and toggle through as many faces, and it filters for exactly that. We can single tap, pull up the sheet, go in and out, and see how all of the numbers have actually changed. The idea is, even within log view, even through gallery view, you can just simply toggle by people's faces around and see the sub-specific faces of people on those maps. And it's very interesting that you can't actually do this on the Photos app. So that sort of dimensionality from where was I with someone, when was I with someone, doesn't quite exist. And if I just wanted to, for instance, we're in IIT Bombay today. It's one of the best institutes of the nation. Now, AJ, me and others, we can probably show some of your faces as well. We are about to head over to Aromas, which is a cafe, and we've been heading there for the past month or so. And it's just so lovely to go over to Aromas, browse on the map, and just pull up the log view of all the images that me and Adit and AJ shared. But for some reason, if I want to remove AJ from the entire thing, I can just hide him from the faces aspect. And AJ is probably not as AJ is probably not as happy to listen to that, but that's very, very possible, right? You can hide people, you can add people, and this entire interoperability becomes very, very interesting to use. All of this just goes to show how much we've thought of and reimagined the photos layer of the app. It's just a way to navigate the entire system, but this is not what we're building. Beyond this, we want to really enhance and, as I said, ameliorate the sharing experience. You would assume sharing does not have to be fixed, but we have a lot of thoughts on that. There's a reason why you don't get 200 images from your friend from the party last night. There's a reason why there's a lot of mental cost and effort in sending the right images to send to the other person. What if we could cut those mental costs? What if we could invent something called ambient share? What if we could use facial recognition, have different sets of filtrations automated on the other person's system, and ambiently share the images precognitively? What that means is, if I take an image of Adit, it instantly recognizes Adit's face and pre-sends it to Adit. It predictably sends it to Adit. And when I press share, it just instantly pops up on his system. But for instance, with my dad and my mom, it's very interesting why my mother never trusts my dad, even after 25 years of marriage, to get photos of her from my dad's phone. But if you have a system that recognizes my mom's face from my dad's phone, it ambiently sends it over to her, and it shares it to her limbo state. Now, limbo state will require another set of explanation, but her limbo state has a filtration that says that if there's any images received from my father, or any images that has a photo of my father or her, it instantly takes it to her gallery. Well, not even her gallery, her Dabble gallery. We want Dabble to be the default Photos app. So the only way you can do all of those things is by completely reimagining what the base dimension of these systems are. Even when you're sharing, let's say on the Photos app, right? You can't just go through recents, take a photo there, then find a specific folder of just images of your mom, take a couple images from there, and then go to another place where you have filtration on the map. You can't have 3 different spots and select people from everywhere. On Dabble, all of this can be done very congruently, very cohesively. And the sharing experience is much, much easier. So that's just the 2 pillars. And there's a lot more to come from us. But it'll be very exciting to have a conversation discussing on how we have a very novel approach to facial recognition. We genuinely believe that within the next 2 to 3 months, we can beat Apple, Google, Meta, and everybody else in the best facial recognition system in the world, because we genuinely have access to 2 variables that they simply don't. But I guess that'll be a conversation for the next time. It'll set up for a physical meeting maybe. That'll be it for now. This is quite a long demo. Thank you.